Hello guys, greetings to each of you. So I brought a new and interesting video for all of you guys. So especially for those who are learning Python in the beginner level and the intermediate level questions I have collected. So without wasting much time, let's start our today's session. If you are not a subscriber yet, do subscribe. Like here starts with the first question, like different data types in Python. Like the interviewer might ask what are the different data types. So let's see, this is a string data type in Python and integer data type, and I'm declaring C as a list data type which will be declared by using square brackets. Then comes the dictionary data type. So E is of tuple data type, and we can also declare Boolean data types as F. So these are all the different data types in Python. Now let me print the type of each of these variable, like print type of A. If I say A, it displays string class string. So similarly, if I display the class of the variable C, it's of list. So A is a string, B is an integer, C is a list, D is dictionary, E is tuple. So where is set? Even set will be declared by using flower brackets, but the only difference is that if we insert elements like data elements, so now it gives set C. So this is of the type set. So if we remove 4, it shows the type as dictionary, because dictionary will be having key value pairs. Like key value pair is nothing but some 1 is to, like I can print something India. So this is the key, 1 is the key, and India will be the value of the key 1. So now it will be displaying dictionary. So now let's look at the second question, like swapping variables in Python. So basically swapping variables in Python and other languages is very similar, but the only difference is that we can also swap numbers in Python by using directly the comma operator. See, let me show you. A comma B equals B comma A. Now let me print it again. So I'm printing it before swapping and after swapping. So let's see the output, 4 comma 7 and 7 comma 4. So I'll also be telling like other methods which are common in all languages, like using the operators we can swap using XOR operator. A equals A XOR B, B equals A XOR B, and A equals A XOR B. So even this way we can swap two variables. Now here comes the third question. What will be the output of the code, following code? So here there is a data type, list data type. So we have declared some elements inside that list, like 2, 6, 1. So whenever we multiply this variable a star 3, what will be printing? So you might think that each of these element will be multiplied by 3, like 6 comma 18 comma 3. So that's a wrong answer. The correct answer will be, like same variable will be duplicated 3 times. 261 will be printing 3 times. So now even if I change some number, like it will be duplicating 6 times. So not only list, but also if I take, let me take a string. So 6 times it's gonna print code. So I hope you guys have got it. Moving on to the next question, here comes one of the most anticipated questions in any Python interview we take. Like difference between list, tuple, sets or dictionary. Like let's observe this, like I have declared a list A. So the elements of list are 1 to 5. So if we see the list properties, lists are mutable. We can change the elements of list after declaring a list, and we can access any element by indices of the list, and even it will allow the duplicate elements. So these are for the list, whereas tuple, so almost list and tuple are similar in all ways. The only difference will be that we cannot change the elements once it is declared. Like tuples are immutable, whereas lists are mutable. Other than that, it is same. And coming to sets, so it is completely different from tuples and like list, because sets will not allow any duplicate elements, and sets cannot be accessed by indices, so the order will not be maintained. Let me show you. So if I want to print the set C, So it will only print 1 comma 2 comma 3 because it won't allow the duplicate elements. So 3 is printed only once. So finally here comes the dictionary. There will be key value pairs. For key 1 there is a value A, for key 2 there is a value B. So now you can ask me whether duplicate elements are present, I mean allowed in dictionary or not. So in dictionaries we can simply say that duplicate keys are not allowed, whereas duplicate values are allowed. So even if you try to give a duplicate key, so the most recent key will be updated, that's it. And next, and moving on, here comes doc strings in Python. Basically, these are nothing but the string literals which document the modules or libraries or functions, classes in Python. So now let's see, let me define a function. Like there is a function, some def fun, and for that function is basically used to print hello, like hey, welcome. So this is a function, and even I am calling this function so fun. So here comes the document doc string. Doc string is nothing but some form of text which defines the function, like tells something about the function. This is used to greet. So now, whenever a person, some second person reads your code, definitely he has to get some clarity, right? So it is used in such a way. Like this is called the doc string, and even we can print separately the doc string by using doc. So it may be, this is a function. We can also declare a class also, like class A. So some class. So here we can say something about this class. This is just a class. This is a class method. So this is how we use doc strings. And next here comes lambda function in Python. So lambda function is nothing but a function which takes several arguments. Like it can take any number of arguments, but always returns only single expression. The expression. In simple terms, we can simply say that one line function. Lambda function is nothing but one line function. So let me show you. Like a equals. So a is a variable. So where lambda. So lambda of a comma b is to a star b. So here let me give not a x because already a comma b I have used. So print x of 2 comma 7. So this is a lambda function. So we'll be getting 14 as output, right? So here if we observe the lambda function now, so this is just a one line function where it takes the arguments like a comma b are the arguments and then separated by a colon. So after colon we define the expression. So if you want me to write the syntax of lambda function, so lambda then comes arguments, all the arguments, then comes the expression. This is the syntax of lambda function. So same we have seen in the below code. So this is about the lambda function in Python, mostly asked in several interviews. What are generators in Python? So I can say that basically in Python, so if we take any function like fun, so it will return. So here there is a function called fun, and it is returning fun star 2. So now I'm just trying to pass a value 6 and then print the value returned by the function. So any function we take, there will be only one return value and the return value will be executed once. Like so, whereas coming to the generator, single function we can make multiple return values. Like not exactly the return values, but we can say that like fun of some n. Instead of return here we use yield. So n plus 1 I'm yielding just yield n plus 2, yield n plus 3, and I'm trying to call the function like a equals to fun of 5 print a. So now it won't print the value, instead it prints the address of the object. So if we want to print the value, we are supposed to use the function next of a, so then the value will be printed. So the next of a is printing 6. If we print again next of a again, so it's printing 7 8. So once again if you make it prints none, like already the iteration is stopped because only there are three yield statements we used in this loop. So this is how generators are used in Python. Instead of written values, we will be having yield in generator. And one more important thing is that we will be using next, in order to access the next yield values. And then comes the decorators in Python, whereas decorators is all about nothing but like without changing any part of the function, we are modifying the function. Like if we observe like def function 2, we are just printing welcome to Python. But what I need is that before welcome to Python, I want to print hello. So how can I achieve that without changing any part of the function code in function 2? So this is achieved using decorators in Python. So I can decorate the function 2 with function 1. So I should use the syntax at the rate fun1, and then am supposed to define the function. So here if you observe, like first of all, before executing the function to any part of the code, like function 1 is implemented, so it is executed. So it is returning like a function. So welcome to Python after hello, welcome to Python. This is about the decorators. So in simple, we can say that decorators are used to modify a function without actually modifying it. Moving on to the next, here comes one of the most asked question, like whether Python is an interpreter or compiled language. So simply the answer is both. Python is both compiled and interpreted, but the compilation part is hidden from the user. So we basically read from books or anywhere like it is an interpreter language. The reason is the compilation is hidden. So you are supposed to learn the know the flow of the code. Whenever a person writes a Python code, the source code is converted into the bytecode internally, and then it is converted by the Python virtual machine. This comes into picture. So, and then moving on, here comes the slicing in Python. Is nothing but just an operation which is used to fetch the required part of a list or a string. So you will get some more clarity once after seeing the example. So this is a string. So I'm printing the string. So entire string is printed, right? Like organization is printed. So what if I want to print the only the first five characters, which is organ? So I can say print s of 0 is to 5. So what will be the output? Organ is the output. So how did I achieve this? This is called as slicing in Python. So the syntax will be square bracket, start index, stop index, or the last index, and the step size. So you'll know what actually the step size is about. So now if I observe here, if I don't give the step size, it is automatically taken as 1. So step size is 1 by default. So if I give step size as 2 and the last index as some 10, you will observe the difference. Like see here. Here I only printed the even parts of even characters, like O is printed, G is printed, N is printed, S this way. So now if what if I want to print only the odd part, so I can start from the first index. So R A I A I. So if I change this step size as 3, so you will observe the difference, like so every third character is printed, like first character, then two characters are omitted, and then A is printed this way. This is about the slicing, and not only the strings, we can also slice lists also. Like I can slice the list. Sorry, I did not queue. So this is about slicing lists in Python. Invalid syntax. Sorry, here we missed comma. 1 is to 76. And then here comes a one line codes. So we are supposed to fill the code in order to print all the best. So there is a string like a name. So if of something like we are supposed to fill this code. How can we achieve this? If we observe here, program is a part of the string programmer. So now we are supposed to slice this part of the string. How can we achieve it? Like I have just told you, right? So from 0th index, I have to print 5th index. 0 is to 6, sorry, 6th index, program. In total, 7 characters. So print all the best. We have printed all the best. Suppose if I make it as 6, it won't be printed because it doesn't match. The M is missing here. So the correct syntax will be 0 is to 7 is to. And then we are supposed to find the output. So basically if we run this, before running this, here A equals 20 by 3. This is called the division part in order to give the integral part. This will result in only the integral part. So normal division method will give integral part along with the decimal part. And then here a square, this is nothing but the power a to the power 2. So it gives here in the first statement like a equals 6, then a equals 6 square which gives 36, then a equals 36 divided by 7. When 36 is divided by 7, we get some big number like 5.142. Here it is given, right? So now I want to round this number. So if I want to round this number to two decimal places after the point, like 5.14 is printed. So if I want to print 6 digits after the decimal point, I can make it as. So basically you need to remember the syntax like round of two arguments. The first argument is a number or float, and then the next argument is number of places. Moving on, here comes a code like placement. A string is given and we are supposed to print the placement in reverse order. How can it be achieved? This can be achieved by using reverse indexing concept. So reverse indexing is nothing but directly we can reverse a list or a string or whatever. Here we have achieved it, right? So placement is printed in the reverse order. So even if you take a list also 1 comma 3 comma 5 comma 7, it is printed in the reverse order 7531. So this is how it is. Moving on, here comes, can we count the number of duplicates while defining a set? So simply the answer is no, and let me show you. And I have defined a set. Let me define it 1 comma 2 4 6. So there are no duplicates. I did not give any. And if I print 1 2 4 6 is displayed. So let me give you some duplicate elements. So even after giving, so we know that sets doesn't allow any duplicate. So it won't be printed. Now, how can I count the number of duplicates? Some people think that if we convert the set into the list, so now if we see the length of s or print directly s, so here the answer is given like 1 2 4 5 6. No matter once set is defined, we cannot know the number of duplicate elements which are while defining. So no matter whether you convert the set into list or whatever, we can never find the duplicate elements. Like number of times it is repeated. Simply we lose it only if the one time it is considered. And here, moving on, here comes the 15th question. We are supposed to print the know the output of the code. So we have discussed this already, like lambda function. So now we are putting lambda functions in use. So print result of 2 comma 3 comma 4. So result is a lambda function where result lambda function is defined as, so lambda syntax taking three variables as arguments and then returning single expression. So now 2, 3, 4. So these arguments are passed. So b plus c for 3 plus 4 7 and 7 star 2 like 7 square. Answer will be 49. So 49 is the answer. So I just need you to focus on this syntax like lambda function syntax. It takes arguments like more than one argument and returns a single expression. That's what the specialty of lambda function. And here comes the last question for this session. So different types of arguments in Python. So it takes time. Like there are many types of arguments and parameters in Python. Like let's start from the first type, default arguments. Like default arguments are nothing but, so even though you don't pass any arguments into the function, so but you have given the default arguments while defining the function, it is called so default. So 5 is written like printed because so we did not pass any arguments, but in default values are 2 and 3. So let us pass a equals, sorry, 4 comma 6, then it returns 10. So even if you don't pass anything, the default values will be taken. Then comes positional arguments. So positional arguments are nothing but directly whatever the values you are passing, so should match with the values that are taken. Like 4 comma 8 are positionally matched and A is taken as 4 and B is taken as 8. And then comes keyword arguments. So non-keyword arguments and keyword arguments. Non-keyword arguments are nothing but like, let me show you. So here I am passing sum of within this function a list of elements I'm passing like 1 comma 5 comma 7. So now let's see what happened. See, the entire list of arguments are taken as a tuple. So this is called the arguments, non-keyword arguments, and we use one asterisk before the parameter like. And if we want to pass keyword also like, so the last type of argument is keyword argument. So in this type, both the keyword and the values are passed. So if you observe here, so sum is the function. So for this function, I am passing a equals to 1, b equals 2. So this will be the keyword. A will be the keyword, and 1 will be the value for the keyword. So this the syntax will be double asterisk is taken. So for key comma values in b dot items, I am printing key and value. So this is how. So there are different types of arguments like default argument, positional arguments, keyword arguments, non-keyword arguments. I hope we are done with this session. So definitely we will be making more videos in the coming future. So this is just a beginner level session and the interview question, some coding question like one line coding question. So we'll make more videos. Do subscribe to our channel.